Tonight on CTV News at 6, Alberta teachers turned down a mediation offer from the province.
In the face of such inflexibility, teachers have no choice but to continue strike action.
What the Premier has planned to end the labour dispute. Police speak about the investigation that led them to the remains of a missing Edmonton teen and a murder charge against an Edmonton man.
This investigation has had many roadblocks, twists, turns.
And a look ahead to Monday's municipal election.
Historically, we've had our results out starting as early as 8:15 on election night.
Why results will be later than usual.
Sunshine and mild temperatures on the way for tomorrow, and the wind should be down, especially through the afternoon. It does cool off and turn cloudy on Sunday, though. Your full forecast in a couple minutes.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. The Alberta Teachers Association says its members have no choice but to continue to strike. This comes after receiving a letter from the provincial government requesting teachers return to the classroom next week with some stipulations. CTV's Evan Kenny has more.
Insulted.
That's how the Alberta Teachers Association President Jason Schilling feels after receiving a letter from the provincial government last night.
In the face of such inflexibility, teachers have no choice but to continue strike action.
The letter asks teachers to return to the classroom Monday and not initiate further strike action until November 20th. It says the two parties would enter what it calls an enhanced mediation process. The letter also says the mediator's recommendations cannot provide for hard caps on classroom sizes or student-teacher ratios.
It's unacceptable to our members. It's one of the driving reasons that we're in this dispute right now.
The ATA responded with a letter of its own saying they want to get back to bargaining. It says this proposed process would severely restrict the scope of the solutions that the mediator could consider, would abandon the only approach teachers have confidence in, and the proposal for enhanced mediation is bound to fail and entirely unacceptable to teachers.
The ATA needs, the leadership needs to understand that there's, what's the phrase, more than one way to peel a potato.
Premier Danielle Smith says there are more ways to solve the issue of classroom complexities besides a student-teacher ratio cap.
If you look at the number of teachers that we have, 51,000 and 740,000 students, that would be a pupil-teacher ratio of about 14. If you just focus in on the 35,162 teachers that they say are full-time teachers and divide that by that number, that's 21 to 1.
Legislature is back in session in 10 days. The Premier says if teachers are still striking at that point, back to work legislation will be passed that week. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
It says November diploma exams will be optional for students. They'll still take place on the currently scheduled dates, but students must make a request to write them. It will be up to school boards to accommodate the request. At this point, there are no changes to the January and June diploma exams or provincial achievement tests. Edmonton police say rampant online speculation surrounding the Samuel Bird investigation hampered their investigation. They had to deal with hundreds of tips about the missing teen, many that came from rumors. Nariman Issa is covering this story for us tonight. And Nariman, police were vocal about those online rumors. What did investigators say?
Jeff, Edmonton police say the online speculation needs to stop, especially because it involves teenagers. Police say they believe only one person is responsible for Samuel Bird's killing.
Narratives which have portrayed other youths as being involved in Samuel's murder directly or as a party to the offense have been confirmed false through our investigation. The continued doxing of any youth associated to this investigation is morally and legally inappropriate.
Police arrested 38-year-old Brian Farrell earlier this week. He is charged with second-degree murder and interfering with a body. He's facing 13 other charges, including aggravated assault and arson. Police say Farrell is the father of a teen who knew Bird. The 14-year-old was last seen June 1st. Police believe he was killed that day. Bird's body was found yesterday in a wooded area near a farmer's field west of Edmonton and south of Stony Plain. Police were initially searching in the Carrot Creek area west of Edmonton.
That was not a ruse. It wasn't a tactic. It was a legitimate search for Samuel. This investigation has had many roadblocks, twists, turns, and the last 3 weeks have been probably the most active of the entire case.
Police say Farrell was arrested in a public place by the EPS tactical team. A bail hearing has been set for October 20th. Jeff.
Nairman, thank you. Edmonton police have charged a 29-year-old man with sexual assault. Police say in August, a teenage boy reported being sexually assaulted by a man he met on Snapchat. On Wednesday, police arrested Tristan Lahou. He's facing multiple charges, including sexual assault. Police believe there could be other victims and are asking them to come forward. An inquiry into the deadly Columbia Icefield tour bus rollover began today. The bus lost control on a road leading to the Athabasca Glacier in Jasper in July 2020. It rolled about 50 meters before coming to a stop on its roof. 3 people were killed, 14 others were seriously hurt. RCMP did not lay criminal charges, but bus operator Brewster Incorporated pleaded guilty to 2 occupational health and safety charges. A justice is expected to hear about brake inspections and maintenance of the bus during the fatality inquiry. While the inquiry cannot assign blame, it will make recommendations to prevent similar deaths. Immigration officers say they found 4 undocumented workers after searching a Calgary construction site this week. On Wednesday, Canada Border Services Agency inspected the team working on the event center after receiving a tip about the work site. Because it's a large site, immigration officers asked Calgary police to be there as an extra security measure. The 4 people found without status are required to report to the CBSA office this week. The investigation is ongoing. The federal health minister was in Alberta today to meet with provincial and territorial health leaders. The group says it's committed to working together to strengthen Canada's healthcare system. They discussed recruiting more doctors and nurses, as well as youth mental health. A coordinated immunization program was supposed to be on the agenda. The topic has been pushed to the next meeting since Alberta and Quebec are now charging for the COVID vaccine.
We really put this to the next meeting because we want to have a more fulsome discussion. We know vaccine hesitancy is real. We know that there is an opportunity to look at how do we work together.
The next meeting is planned for December the 31st. A new report into Alberta Health Services contracts reveals widespread conflicts of interest, but found that senior officials failed to take action. The 43-page independent review comes after allegations of corruption involving multi-million-dollar deals for children's medication and private surgical facilities. CTV's Mark Villani reports.
Premier Danielle Smith says her government is taking action, committed to immediate reforms in the procurement processes of Alberta Health Services.
This confirmed, I think, the fact that we needed to move in this direction, that AHS had bad practices.
But Alberta's NDP disagrees.
I believe the Premier is insulting the intelligence of Albertans when she tries to claim that the report is saying something that it doesn't.
Those responses stem from Friday's release of a 43-page independent report written by former Manitoba Judge Raymond Wyant. He reviewed allegations of corruption involving multi-million-dollar contracts for children's medication and surgeries by for-profit providers. Wyant found 2 senior AHS staff members had real or perceived conflicts of interest, but
there was no wrongdoing on the part of elected officials.
Wyant made several recommendations, including implementing a centralized system for conflicts of interest, requiring contracts over $10 million be reviewed by procurement lawyers, and improving the procurement process to require more details. 26 people were interviewed and more than 2 million documents reviewed, but Wyant says no one was subpoenaed and people declined interviews. Premier Smith and Health Minister Adriana LaGrange also weren't approached for comment.
There was nothing that he found, whether it was at the public service level or at the government level.
Wyant says he believed people were striving to tell the truth, but some weren't leaving him with the impression full and complete information was provided, and that he wasn't able to make a final and absolute determination.
So I think that this report doesn't invalidate some of those arguments that have been made that this is big enough that we should be doing a public inquiry.
And at the center of it all, former AHS CEO Asena Mentzelopoulos, who was fired for bringing these allegations to light. She says the Wyant report confirms these were legitimate issues that AHS was continuing to investigate when I was terminated 2 days before my meeting with the Auditor General. It's important to note that Judge Wyant's review was not a formal public inquiry.
We have already taken the steps to address that.
This is the heart of the corruption allegations against the UCP.
The report found that AHS did not follow its own procedures when it signed a $70 million deal with MHCare to import children's painkillers from Turkey back in 2022. Premier Smith says she's unaware of how much that company CEO Sam Raish may have profited from that deal. MHCare did not answer our questions on Raish's refusal to answer Judge Wyant's questions about his profit margins. You can expect results for Monday's municipal election to be published later than usual. The provincial government has banned cities and towns from using machines to count ballots in a bid to raise trust in election integrity. As Jeremy Thompson tells us, some communities may have to wait days to find out who won.
When polls close at 8 o'clock on election night, results usually aren't far behind.
Historically, we've had our results out starting as early as 8:15 on election night, with all of our polls reporting by 9.
That won't happen this Monday. Last fall, the province passed legislation prohibiting the use of electronic tabulators.
Leger released a poll in June where they said 36% of Albertans don't trust electronic counted ballots.
Like many municipalities, Strathcona County has used machines to count votes for decades without issue.
When we had tabulators, we were able to put 3 elections on one card, and the card was fed through the tabulator. But in this election, we have to have individual ballots.
Hundreds of thousands of votes will instead be hand counted across Alberta, a slower process, especially where voters select multiple candidates on a single ballot, like for school board races in Strathcona or councillors in St. Albert. To minimize errors, Strathcona County will have a fresh shift of workers for the count.
When you introduce humans into any kind of counting mechanism, you're bound to get errors.
Municipalities have different targets for sharing results. Most plan to release them incrementally as they come in from polling stations. Edmonton expects to share its first numbers around 10 o'clock, while Calgary is prioritizing mayoral results to get them out sooner. St. Albert may not know who its new leaders are until Tuesday or later, as that city will only release results once they've all been counted and verified. In Strathcona, Roblin says the extra expense, training, and rigor is worth it to get results out as early as possible.
We felt the longer the count takes, residents start to get a little anxious about the results.
No matter where you live, expect election night to be a little different than usual. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
And CTV News Edmonton will bring you the results from the municipal election as soon as we get them. You can tune in at 11 o'clock Monday night for a special edition of our late night newscast. Meanwhile, Edmonton Mayor Amarjeet Sohi is in his final days in office and reflecting on his time leading the city. The former Edmonton councillor, MP, and bus driver was elected mayor in 2021. He began the job in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. Other challenges he faced included difficult relationships with the province, as well as Edmonton Police Service, and rising city costs after years of little increase in tax revenue. Despite the difficulties of the job, Sohi says he has many accomplishments to celebrate.
We have moved forward on our commitment to building an affordable city, to building an inclusive, welcoming city. We moved the needle on our anti-racism action plan. We moved the needle and really ingrained into our city policies and programs our commitment to reconciliation with First Nations, Métis, and Inuit communities, which was something that I felt that we have an obligation to do.
So he says that after 17 years of public service, he's still deciding what to do next. Edmonton police officers participated in a different kind of community work today. Officers parked their cruisers in front of superstore locations. They asked Edmontonians to cram their cars full of food and toys. The Cram the Cruiser event supports a number of agencies in our city, including the Jasper Place Wellness Center, Pregnancy Pathways, and Edmonton's Food Bank.
If we can help those in need, right, reduces the amount of work we have to do. And, you know, like in these times, there's a lot of, we talk about affordability crisis. More and more people need help every day, so really great to see this work going on.
The Edmonton Police Foundation says 7,300 pounds of food were collected. A little windy out there, Josh.
Yeah, not quite as bad as it was late last night when you had those big gusts go through. You had some not only heavy rain, but in parts of the Edmonton area, there were even a few lightning strikes last night. It's gusting to about 30 kilometers per hour right now. Most of this afternoon, gusts have been 40 to 50 kilometers per hour. We'll keep those gusts, it looks like, through the rest of this evening, but they should die down through the day tomorrow. It's 9 degrees after hitting 11 for a daytime high A lot cooler than yesterday, 19 for a high yesterday. Today, back to average. Although it did start, because of the wind and the cloud overnight last night, it did start out on the mild side at 5 degrees. I think we'll be a couple of degrees above zero again tomorrow morning here in the city. You have a few scattered showers in east central Alberta. You can see there were a few lightning strikes earlier in the day around Red Deer and off to the southeast. Red Deer still seeing a little bit of scattered shower activity, but here in the city, just a few clouds through the rest of this evening and then some clearing overnight tonight. Gusts to around 30 or 40 kilometers per hour this evening and overnight. Even early tomorrow morning, still a little on the breezy side, but by mid to late morning, the wind will ease, and we should have light wind, sunshine, and about 13 for a daytime high tomorrow. It does get a little cooler on Sunday, cloudier as well, and a chance of some showers, maybe even for parts of central and northern Alberta, some wet snow. Take a closer look at that and the rest of your 5 and 10 day forecast in a couple minutes.
Thanks, Josh. Coming up, a piece of art you can play on.
Public art is the manifestation of our city's personality. And so it's a vibrancy, it's creativity, it's diversity.
Inspiration behind this new playground and the artist that created it. Just ahead. Plus,
so many people are conscious of their budgets, and the one thing that they can invest in and should invest in is their home.
what you can expect from a pair of annual shows back at the Expo Center this weekend.
Coming up Monday on Your Morning, advice for parents trying to guide their kids through the anxieties of the teacher's strike. And it's election day. We'll have your forecast and the information you need as you head to the polls.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
A new playground in the Baldwin neighborhood marks an exciting milestone for the Edmonton Arts Council. As Merrick DeCash explains, the new playground represents 300 pieces of art in the City of Edmonton's public art collection.
Tondra Georgie bundled up her kids on a windy afternoon so the family could check out a new playground built inside Baldwin Park.
We've been waiting all summer for it to open up because we live just a couple blocks down. So this used to be like a place we go to almost every day to keep the kids entertained.
The artist responsible for designing the park is AJ Loudon. He's been painting in Edmonton for decades.
This is called Piney's Playground.
Piney's Playground features Piney P, a character Loudon has been painting across the city for years. It's become his calling card.
And this is the first time he's been realized in a fully sculptural form as a piece of public art. So this is a really exciting milestone for me. It's so cool to see, almost like a theme park for Piney.
The park represents the Edmonton Art Council's 300th piece in the City of Edmonton's public art collection.
Public art is the manifestation of our city's personality. And so it's a vibrancy, it's creativity, it's diversity, and it's celebrating all of those things, bringing them together.
A piece of art Loudon hopes will be used and enjoyed for decades to come.
I just hope that this reflects some of the community story, and I hope that the kids get to see a little bit of their own culture and history and start thinking about an even brighter future.
This marks the first full playground in the City of Edmonton's public art collection. Merrick DeCash, CTV News, Edmonton.
A pair of annual shows return to the Edmonton Expo Center today. The Edmonton Fall Home Show and the Alberta Snowmobile, ATV, and Off-Road Show. The home show features home decor displays, renovation project ideas, and local professionals. Down the hall, Western Canada's premier power sports show provides the latest 2026 snowmobile models, ATVs, side-by-sides, gear, apparel, and trailers. Despite many feeling the squeeze of inflation, show organizers still expect a strong turnout this weekend.
So many people are conscious of their budgets, and the one thing that they can invest in and should invest in is their home. That's why they want to come to this show and really find the right people to work with.
We've got everyone here from people who sled on the trails all over Alberta, or some of them are mountain sledders, and they do the high marking, which is a little bit scarier, but it's not just about sledding down here. There's something for everyone.
The snowmobile show runs until 8 p.m. Saturday. The home show goes until 6 p.m. on Sunday. Ballet Edmonton is back for its 14th season beginning tonight. season begins tonight with Siren. The ballet spotlights Canadian choreographers, including one this year from Edmonton. Edmonton Ballet's artistic director says it embraces original works.
And the suggestion for these creators when they come in is to make sort of whatever inspires them. And so what it really is a reflection on our world right now. Like, that's really what makes it contemporary dance. It's happening now. We are building the work now. It's being seen right now.
Siren runs this weekend at MacEwan University's Allard Hall. Other shows in the season are planned for February and May of next year. Still ahead, the charity of the Quilting Queens.
Seeing people come to the sale and going, oh, look at that. Oh, I'd like that.
The local congregation uses its stitching skills to support local charities.
Selfishly, it's good for me. It's good to belong to the group.
Sunny and a little bit warmer tomorrow, a lot less windy as well. And then things kind of go sideways on Sunday. A closer look at all that in just a few minutes.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. You by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
A local group is trying to help charities cover their costs by covering you with one of their quilts. The St. Andrew's Quilting Club, or the Quilting Queens of Edmonton, depending on who you ask, support local charities while also supporting each other. CTV's Matt Woodman explains.
Every Tuesday morning, St. Andrew's United Church turns into an assembly line. Each member of the Quilting Queens is doing their part to finish these blankets ahead of their annual sale.
The favorite part is seeing people come to the sale and going, oh, look at that. Oh, I'd like that.
Lynn Tedder joined the group nearly 20 years ago after attending a sale herself. She's now the group's coordinator, ensuring all this fabric is stitched into quilts of all shapes, sizes, and patterns.
When we have stuff for the Oilers, they almost get into a fight over it.
Joyce McRory is working on one of those Oilers quilts.
Does that look navy blue to you?
At 100, she admits her vision isn't as strong as it used to be, but her spirit and work ethic are second to none.
She is the ever-ready bunny. She just goes. When she joined us, we never believed she was as old as she said.
Selfishly, it's good for me. It's good to belong to the group.
A group that supports one another through the good times, like McRory's birthday.
I don't know how many people were there. It was just a wonderful day. We never did get back to quilting.
And through the tough times.
My sister passed away, and her service was here, and, you know, everybody showed up. They didn't know her, but they showed up for me.
If you know how to sew and enjoy quilting, you're encouraged to stop by one Tuesday.
We'd love to have some younger people join us.
If you're interested in purchasing a quilt, the pews here at St. Andrew's on 148th Street will be covered with different options from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. this Saturday. All the money raised from the quilt sale will be donated to the Jessica Martel Memorial Foundation, an organization that helps people escaping domestic violence. Matt Woodman, CTV News, Edmonton.
All right, do you want to talk about how nice warm quilts would be great this weekend, or your golf game tomorrow, or the wind maybe, or your choice?
No, I don't want to bore people with the golf game. Sunday, you're probably going to want to dress a little warmer than you will tomorrow. Temperatures will be around 3 degrees tomorrow morning, up to 13 in the afternoon. Beautiful mid to late October day. 9 degrees outside right now as you look through the River Valley Sky Cams, brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed Rider, it's free. Partly cloudy skies after a sunny start to the day. 11 degrees in Red Deer, 11 in Fort McMurray, 12 in Peace River. So daytime highs today about 3 to 6 degrees cooler than they were yesterday for most of the province. Here in Edmonton, 8 degrees cooler than yesterday. It's 9 degrees downtown right now, 10 in High Level. Still 12 in Peace River, 8 degrees in Lloydminster, and you do have some wind. Gusts to about 45 kilometers per hour here in Cold Lake. You get gusts up over 40 in Grand Prairie. Red Deer had gusts over 70 earlier in the day today. Right now, our gusts to about 30 kilometers per hour. That'll be the case right through the remainder of this evening. This is 11 p.m. You can see it still stays pretty gusty as well in northwestern and eastern parts of the province. Through tomorrow morning, this is 7 a.m., still about 15 gusting to 25, but by mid to late morning, the wind starts to die down, and it looks like it should be a fairly calm afternoon, at least here in the city. Red Deer wind picks up a little bit in the afternoon, and still on the gusty side in east central and northeastern Alberta right through the day tomorrow. Not as strong as today, but still breezy. You've got some scattered showers and some thicker cloud cover in east central and northeastern Alberta. Still a few thunderstorms rumbling across the southeast and a couple of stray shower cells around the Red Deer region. Looks like you're almost done with that. Here in Edmonton, we'll see a few of these clouds slide through this evening, and then overnight tonight, skies will start to clear. There's a weak little high pressure system that's going to drift off to the southeast. So for most of tomorrow, we're under mainly sunny skies, not just in Edmonton, but areas off to the south and east. Increasing cloud in the afternoon to the west. And as this low pressure system spills in, you get some rain late tomorrow night into early Sunday morning in through the Peace Country. That'll then change over to some snow. There could be some accumulating snow by the end of Sunday across parts of northern Alberta and possibly through the foothills and mountain parks. Here in Edmonton, best chance for precipitation comes mid to late morning or around lunchtime on Sunday. And it's probably, if we get anything at all, it's probably rain as opposed to snow. There might be some times, though, where there's a little bit of wet snow kind of mixed in with the rain. So there may be some brief mixed precipitation, but you're not going to see any accumulating snow here in the city. East Central Alberta, you might see a little bit between Cold Lake and Lloydminster, depending on how heavily it comes down Sunday evening. Here are your temperatures for the next 24 hours. 2 degrees tomorrow morning. There's your gusts right through to the early morning hours. And then it dies down about 10 to 15 kilometers per hour through the afternoon and a high of 13 later in the day tomorrow. Midnight tonight is the Porsche Paris Early Bird Prize deadline in the Mighty Millions Lottery. You could take the brand new Porsche 911 and the trip to Paris or $200,000 cash. Go to mightymillionslottery.com, but do it before midnight tonight. 9 and that chance of a shower on Sunday, 8 Monday, but watch temperatures next week. 12 or 13 Tuesday, Wednesday, and right back into the mid to upper teens Thursday, Friday.
Okay, thank you, Josh. Still ahead on CTV News at 6, reinforcing the Canadian border.
During the election campaign, we were clear that our borders had to be secure so everyone in Canada can feel safe, and we promised to hire 1,000 new CBSA officers to bolster our border protection efforts.
The PM's plans to beef up the 49th parallel and...
The RCMP covered it all up, and the leadership of the RCMP is frankly just despicable when it comes to enforcing laws against the Liberal government.
Blowback against Pierre Poilievre allegations.
3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Mark Carney announced plans to beef up the border today. The Prime Minister pledged to hire 1,000 new border officers with the aim of cracking down on illegal drugs and guns. CTV's Judy Trin now on the border plan and the pre-budget spending promise.
But we also have a slew of other prohibited devices.
Examples of illegal weapons seized at the Niagara Falls border crossing. To thwart growing threats, the Liberal government is funding more border security agents.
During the election campaign, we were clear that our borders had to be secure so everyone in Canada can feel safe, and we promised to hire 1,000 new CBSA officers to bolster our border protection efforts.
The upcoming budget will allocate $617 million to recruit 1,000 CBSA officers over the next 5 years, a pledge made by Mark Carney while campaigning to be Prime Minister.
So how many of those boots are going to be on the ground? Are we actually waiting for the budget for this funding to come through? Because we haven't had a budget. It comes in November. So there are actually more questions than answers that we got from the minister's announcement enforcement today.
A focus will be on hiring special analysts who can identify suspects connected to organized crime, human smuggling, immigration fraud, and terrorism.
It's very promising. We have to start somewhere. It's something we've been asking for a long time. Our members will be really happy to hear that this is going to come about.
The union representing border guards says the challenges include a need to expand training facilities and provide more equipment like these X-ray machines to agents so they can do more searches.
We don't really examine rail. We examine less than 1%. We have land borders, airports, which really overuse students, where we need to get officers in those positions. It's really across the board.
Hiring these new CBSA officers are measures on top of the $1.3 billion border security plan announced last year by the Liberals under Justin Trudeau. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
The RCMP is forcefully denying allegations of political interference by Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre. Poilievre has accused the Mounties of shielding former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau from criminal charges. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports on the accusations of a cover-up and the blowback.
Many of the scandals of the Trudeau era should have been involved jail time.
In an interview posted to YouTube, the Conservative leader ripped into his former House of Commons opponent for the 2019 SNC-Lavalin affair and Justin Trudeau's 2016 family vacation on the Aga Khan's private island, as well as how the RCMP handled the cases.
The RCMP covered it all up, and the leadership of the RCMP is frankly just despicable when it comes to enforcing laws against the Liberal government.
There's no interference. I don't take any orders from any political individual.
When the RCMP's top cop rejected cover-up claims,
I would invite Monsieur Poilievre to meet with us and to meet with the people who run this great organization.
Pierre Poilievre said he would accept the invitation and doubled down.
If the RCMP commissioner is now saying that he wants to open that investigation, we're prepared to hand over all the evidence of Mr. Trudeau's criminal code violations.
In this case, the opposition leader is going a bit too far.
This political strategist says there is room to challenge and critique, but to win new voters, Poilievre may want to adopt a more moderate approach to complex issues like the state of the RCMP.
Pierre Poilievre thinks people are fired up about Justin Trudeau. He and his caucus are fired up about Justin Trudeau, but I think the public has moved on.
And to recap from the prior government, the Ethics Commissioner did find Prime Minister Trudeau broke the rules in both cases, but the RCMP said there wasn't enough evidence for a criminal offense in the SNC case. And in the case of the near-decade-old vacation, even though long pressed by the Conservatives, the RCMP said it couldn't productively pursue a criminal investigation. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Donald Trump hosted Ukraine's president at the White House today. Volodymyr Zelensky made a proposition for U.S. Tomahawk missiles that Kyiv says are desperately needed.
And the United States has Tomahawks and other missiles, very strong missiles, but they can have our thousands of drones. That's why where we can work together, where we can strengthen American production.
Is that something that you would be interested in, Ukrainian drones?
We are, yeah, we would. We have a lot of drones right now. We build our own drones, but we also buy drones from others. And they make a very good drone. I mean, drone warfare has really come to the fore over the last couple of years because of this war.
The U.S. president has signaled he's not ready to sell Ukraine the Tomahawk missiles. Trump says his country needs them and does not want to deplete its stock. Today, he said he believes the war can be ended soon and a decision on the missiles would not be necessary. Trump spoke by phone yesterday with Russian President Vladimir Putin and says they agreed to meet in Budapest in a few weeks. Former Donald Trump advisor John Bolton pleaded not guilty today to charges of mishandling classified information. Bolton, indicted yesterday, is accused of sharing sensitive information with two of his relatives for possible use in a book. He is the third of Trump's prominent critics to face prosecution in recent weeks. In a statement, Bolton wrote that he has become the latest target in weaponizing the Justice Department to charge those deemed to be Trump's enemies. And in the UK, Prince Andrew has announced he's giving up his royal title of the Duke of York and other honors. Andrew says he and the royal family decided the continued accusations against him distract from his duties. Excerpts have been published of an upcoming posthumous memoir from Virginia Roberts Giuffre. She alleged she was trafficked by the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and had sex with the prince when she was 17. Today, Andrew said he vigorously denies the accusations against him. Andrew will remain a prince, which he has been entitled to since birth. Coming up, lead in popular protein powder.
Protein is honestly your best friend for any health or fitness goals.
The backlash from athletes and industry also ahead. New safety controls that will allow parents to manage how their teens are interacting with AI. Stay with us.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Looking at the markets, the Canadian dollar closed at 71 cents U.S. Oil was up 16 cents, closing the day at $57.15 U.S. a barrel. Gold lost more than $91. The TSX ended lower, losing 350 points. The Dow Jones gained 238. Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister spoke directly with Chinese officials on trade disputes today. Anita Anand met China's foreign minister in Beijing. Canadian officials say the discussion included canola and electric vehicle tariffs. Chinese officials say Beijing wants to restart dialogue with Canada over each nation's legitimate concerns. This comes as the Prime Minister says he expects to meet with senior Chinese leaders soon, possibly at an Asian summit later this month. Canada's passport has moved ahead of the U.S. in the list of most powerful in the world. Powerful is defined in terms of visa-free access to countries. Canada now ranks number 9 in the Henley Passport Index out of 183 countries. The U.S. fell out of the top 10 for the first time, now sitting at number 12. Singapore, South Korea, and Japan make up the top 3. Meta is adding parental controls for their teens' interactions with its artificial intelligence chatbots. The social media company is rolling out a number of AI tools, including digital characters that users can interact with. Starting next year, parents will be able to turn off some or all of those one-on-one chats on their teens' accounts, with the exception of Meta's main AI assistant. Meta says parents will also get insights about what their kids are chatting about with the characters, but won't get access to the full conversations. The changes come as the social media giant and AI chatbots face criticism over potential harms posed to younger users. A new report is raising concerns about protein powders and shakes. Consumer Reports found what it calls a troubling amount of lead in some of them. Now the industry is pushing back, calling the investigation alarmist. CTV's John Venavelli-Rao has more.
Right. Yeah. At Toronto's Studio Fitness, where they help people achieve their strength-building dreams, personal trainer Clementine Nazin often recommends protein shakes, which she drinks twice a day.
Protein is honestly your best friend for any health or fitness goals.
She says they're great for muscle recovery, and at her gym, they ensure the protein powder they use in their drinks is healthy. Concerned about the new report raising questions about brands they don't use.
They should really tackle that issue because it becomes a really important safety hazard.
Consumer Reports tested 23 protein powders and shakes, and it says over 2/3 contained more lead in a single serving than what its experts considered safe for an entire day. In some cases, lead levels were 10 times higher, an issue they've looked at before.
It's concerning that these results are even worse than the last time we tested.
Experts at Consumer Reports went so far as to say consumers may want to avoid some of the products they named and moderate their intake of others. Experts say the concern is repeated consumption over time that could build up lead in the body and cause problems.
It could lead to mood disorders, cognitive decline, kidney disease, and even reproductive problems.
The report found plant-based protein powders had some of the most lead, which is found naturally in the environment, including in soil. In a statement, an industry group pushed back, calling the report alarmist, misleading, and unscientific, adding the levels of lead flagged by Consumer Reports are far below amounts present in many foods, including some fruits and vegetables. Still, some experts say consuming protein powder in moderation is key. If you want to use them, Consumer Reports is recommending you scrutinize your protein shakes and consume them on occasion. John Venavelli-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Coming up, an Alberta event is connecting writers with their readers.
When you're around a bunch of writers who are also doing it and made that choice, and readers who really appreciate it, you kind of go, yes, this is actually why I'm doing it.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV, starting at 7 with E-Talk.
Your morning just got a little brighter. Start your day with CTV Your Morning, and you could win $20,000. For your chance to win, watch CTV Your Morning Edmonton, weekday mornings 6 to 9.
Brought to you by Southview Acura. For family-owned award-winning excellence, Southview Acura, where luxury meets reality.
A long-standing festival in Calgary is celebrating authors and their books. As CTV's Kevin Fleming reports, it's also connecting writers with their readers.
This is a homecoming for Vin Nguyen. He grew up in Calgary, but now lives and works in Toronto. He jumped at the chance to be part of the Calgary Wordfest.
I've attended Wordfest before, back in the day, years ago. And so to come back as an author, right? Like to come back here and to be able to meet readers and to meet other writers that I have read and loved and admired, and to meet new writers and get to know them. I'm so delighted.
His book is called The Migrant Rain Falls in Reverse. Nguyen is excited to share his book with Calgary readers. He's one of 50 authors invited to this year's Wordfest, with the majority being from Canada.
There are so many amazing books being written right now, and one of the ways in which Wordfest is more is we're not just fiction. We're memoir, we're sports, we're nonfiction, we're cookbooks. And so the amount of people and the amount of authors that we want to showcase is enormous.
Antonio Downing lives in Kitchener and says being part of the festival is a confidence builder.
People don't tell you, please grow up and be a writer. Like, parents don't say that to their kids. So you're always kind of in the back of your head going, why am I doing this? And I think when you're around a bunch of writers who are also doing it and made that choice, and readers who really appreciate it, you kind of go, yes, this is actually why I'm doing it.
Downing's fourth book has just been released, titled Black Cherokee.
It's about a coming of age of a young girl who is both Black and Cherokee. Ta-da! And both sides of her communities reject her because, the Black people are like, why are you praying to the river? And the Cherokee people are like, why is your hair so curly? And so she has to figure out how to be.
The 6-day event is a chance for Calgary readers to meet and hear from their favorite authors, but also for those writers to meet the people who support their work. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
The Toronto Blue Jays are taking on the Mariners in Game 5 of the ALCS tonight, looking to take a 3-2 series lead.
His last time. And now he's got a base hit into shallow right. Kirk is getting the wave. The throw's up the line and he'll score.
The Bluebirds hung on to that 2-1 lead until the bottom of the 8th as Cal Raleigh has just tied the game on a solo home run. That's where things stand. Right now it's a 2-2 ball game.
They're the Blue Jays, not the Bluebirds.
That works. Their uniforms are blue. Why not? It works. Don't worry about it.
I like the baby blues. 2 degrees tomorrow morning, 13 tomorrow afternoon. Mainly sunny skies, and after a gusty day today, it'll still be gusty tonight and early tomorrow morning, but the wind should be pretty light for most of the day. Cloudy, 9 degrees on Sunday. Chance of a scattered shower in the area, especially late morning or around lunchtime. Maybe a few wet snowflakes mixed in there. Cool again Monday with a high of 8, but then it warms up again. 12 or 13 Tuesday, Wednesday, 16, 17 degree daytime highs Thursday, Friday of next week. I think 27th to the 31st looks cooler, though. It'll be a cool end to October.
All right. We can deal with that. Thanks, Josh. Sure. Thanks for sharing your time with us. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Good night.